The Michigan Wedding Podcast is brought to you by RDS Films and Michael's Entertainment. Hey, welcome to the Michigan Wedding Podcast, designed for engaged couples curious to learn more about the people that make up the Michigan wedding industry on a deeper and more personal level. I'm Seth Michaels with Michael's Entertainment. We've got Richard Somerset.
Hey, guys.
Rocky, our producer.
Hey, guys. What's up, Wedding World?
And, of course, Lisa, the
Hi, guys.
venue manager here at the Meridian in Farmington Hills.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much for being a part of this. And
Absolutely. Thanks for inviting us.
Yeah, it was a long time coming. We had this plan for a while now. So
absolutely. And actually, this is the first day that I've gotten to meet you.
Right.
And Richard told me all about you last year.
that fun tasting we did here, that was a good time with Matt, Celebrity Catering.
Celebrity.
That's how he brought us together.
Right.
That's right. And I know we're introducing you to Rocky today as well, owner of RDS Films and also co-owner of the Michigan Wedding Podcast. And
Yeah, we appreciate having us out here. This is such a beautiful venue, and all the hundreds of weddings we've done, I can't believe I haven't landed in this place yet. So,
well, it's new. It's a newer place.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about that today.
That's
so,
right.
So I'm super excited.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, welcome.
Oh, thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
So, yeah, I guess maybe we'll jump into the tips of the day if you guys want.
Let's do it.
Rocky?
Yeah, I'll start out with our tip of the day. So this is our wedding video tip of the day for bride and grooms looking for a videographer. Ask your videographer if they can select music for their wedding film. Some videographers won't let you do it. Most do, but I think it's a good question to ask when you're going through that booking process, because I know with my clients, that's one of their favorite parts of the process is picking the right song for when the girls are getting ready, picking the right song during cocktail hour, picking the right song for the dance footage. And we don't have to worry about copyright rules for us because it's private. You know, your full length edit is private. So that's another good question to ask these videographers when you're booking them is, hey, is this going to be public? Because if it is public, you got to watch out for copyright for music. So there's royalty free music out there that you can explore. Ask your videographer about that because he'll have resources, or she will have resources for you for that. And just ask that question. Hey, what's the music choices? What can I pick? Do I have control? So that's my wedding video tip of the day for you bride and grooms out there.
I like that a lot. Let them add their own little personal touch to it, you know?
Yeah,
absolutely.
I love it.
And I think you bundled a couple little good tips in there too, because with the legal thing, it's like, keep that in mind. Like if you're getting this video, like if you let's say it's the highlight, because you mentioned the documentary video, that's not going to go on
it's
Facebook.
Private. Yep.
But if it's that creative highlight that you're doing, and the couple right off the bat, you know they want to share this on Facebook, well then they need to know. Well, you can't have Macklemore on there.
Yeah, you don't want to get in trouble
unless you're going to cut him a fat check.
Yeah, so things to be thoughtful of as you're going through that music process, and it's super exciting. I know my clients love it.
Absolutely.
And last, to wrap it up, I use a website called Artlist, actually. So if you guys want to go check out artlist.io, thousands and thousands of tracks, and it's user-based, so people upload new stuff all the time. So it's not just this selection of music that's old, it's being updated all the time. So
you've shown me that in the past, and some projects we've done together.
Yep.
And yeah, you're right. It's really, really nice music.
Yeah, and that's just one of many of those sort of websites. So ask around, look around, Google. You'll find something that'll work for you, I promise you.
Right on.
Well, thanks, Rocky, for sharing that, man.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Do you have any experience with wedding videographers that's been interesting at some point?
Not really. We're still pretty new here, so not a whole lot of experience on that field.
So just they got the job done, and nothing noteworthy. So that's probably
exactly. It's a good thing.
That's
I was about to stop her and say, well, usually there's bad videography stories ruining it for me, and great guys and girls out there that do a great service. So there's always, and it's like any industry, there's always the one DJ, the one photographer that ruins it for everybody else. So,
or makes the rest of us look good, I guess. So Richard, what you got for us for a tip of the day from a DJ's perspective?
Yeah, today's tip of the day, guys, we're talking about song requests and how your DJ handles taking them, essentially. So obviously couples put a lot of time and effort into, searching for and hiring the right DJ for them that fits all their needs and everything they want. Figure out how they're going to handle song requests, because we've all been in that wedding before where you walk up to a DJ, you request a song, and you're like, yeah, we'll get it played for you. They never play it, or even worse, they just ignore what you said and don't play anything or don't even acknowledge you. So figure out what their plan is for when your friends and family walk up to request that song. Something that we found works pretty well is once they walk up, no matter what they say, introduce yourself to them. Make yourself a human. Hey, I'm Richard. What's your name? Oh, nice to meet you, Bob. Ask them how they're enjoying the night. How's the night going for you so far? Having a good time? Wonderful. What can I do for you? So at that point, you had a conversation with them. You're no longer a jukebox in their eyes. You're a person. You're their friend at this point. Right. They'll tell you what song they want to hear. If it's a good song, let them know, hey, that's an awesome song. We'll get that played for you soon. Do you trust me to play that song for you at the right time? They'll say yes, of course. And then if it's a song that maybe isn't right for the vibe that the couple's going for, let them know, hey, that's an awesome song. I would definitely play that at your wedding. But for this,
awesome. What a great line.
But for this one, it's just not fitting the vibe that the couple wants, But hey, how about this? Together, let's figure out something that can maybe work. How's that sound? And then you powwow together to find out a cool song. So essentially, ask your DJ what their plan is for handling requests. Today's tip of the day.
Awesome. Great job, Richard. I love that.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Thank you, guys.
Such a simple concept, but you can see when you put the human element into it, that you make the right decisions.
Exactly. Because you hire a DJ to be a charismatic person on and off the microphone.
Yep.
Yeah, knowing how to interact with people, because that person probably just wants to contribute to the night. So just because maybe their first idea wasn't the best doesn't mean we still can't find a way to help them feel that feeling of having a contribution to make.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you know you have that uncle or that aunt in your family, and I know I do, and you know they're just going to request like classic rock all night, you should probably go up to that aunt and uncle and give them a warning before, like, hey, I already spoke to the DJ. The DJ has my no-go playlist and my to-do playlist, so just let him do his job. So, and I have family members like that, and I have to explain that to them because I've been to weddings with them, and I've seen it happen. I'm like, oh no. So if bride and groom's out there, if you know those family members, just call them out before the wedding day so you don't got to worry about it.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah.
Right. Well, when you have a good DJ, you don't have to worry about good music or the party staying alive, and people trust you. That's why they get you.
Exactly.
So,
yeah,
definitely.
For sure. And I guess that brings us into the next part of our hangout today, and that's getting to know you and learning more about this beautiful new venue. So, Lize, I guess let's start off with how did you get into the events industry?
So planning my own wedding, I never thought I would be in the event industry, but planning my own wedding, we got engaged in February, got married in June, so very short time period.
5 months.
I fell in love with it and knew that was what I wanted to do. So then pushed forward with it, and we actually moved to Utah and bought our own venue and did that for a couple of years.
Oh, that's a Utah accent.
Nope, South African.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
So that must be a quite a story. That how did you come from South Africa out here?
So I came as an au pair when I was 18. It was only supposed to be for the 1 year. Loved it in this country, and then became a student and stayed full time. Got my degrees. And then met my husband on eHarmony, and
beautiful sight.
the rest is history. So,
and then you had your wedding, and that from the inside out, you got to learn the industry, which is a great place to start.
Right, exactly. Awesome. Now, were you working in Detroit first and for weddings, and then Utah? How that happened?
Nope, we got married, went out to visit in Utah, fell in love with it, and said, okay, well, Utah is famous for weddings within the Mormon culture. There's so many weddings, so it was like that would be the perfect place. So we went to Utah, we bought a venue and moved to Utah for that purpose.
Wow. Oh, wow.
So
you had a very specific niche out there.
Correct.
Now, this is probably not, this might not be the greatest question, but I'm going to ask, did you ever do a wedding with multiple wives?
Yes, but it was but we didn't know until after the fact.
Really?
They keep it very hush hush.
Really?
But we did find out she was like the third or fourth wife at that point. And a lot of vendors we used had multiple wives too. But again, it was kind of hush hush. You kind of found out accidentally.
It's
Correct.
illegal on a federal
Correct.
level,
Correct.
state level too, probably.
Correct.
Wow.
So yes, we did do a couple, and it was definitely different.
What? Let's talk about the difference, because this is just some juicy stuff right here. What was different about a polygamist wedding that you noticed?
There's definitely a lot more tension, because as much as they claim everything is great and they all want to do the same thing and be together and all that, there's a lot of jealousy.
Yeah.
So, when you suddenly have an event and this new person is coming in, and it's just, there's a lot more tension at one of those weddings than at any of the other ones.
Because it's her night.
Correct.
But
technically, it was the other girl's night
Correct.
a year or so ago.
Right.
no.
it's the same guy who's right there.
Right.
So are the other wives, is there like a head table, and are the other wives there too? Or are the other wives like sprinkled throughout the audience? Kind of like.
In most cases, like I said, they kept it very hush hush, and so they did not. It wasn't known
clear.
really, right? We knew because again, we're behind the scenes and doing a lot of stuff.
What a incredible concept,
Yeah, totally.
So how long did you do Mormon weddings for?
Yeah, well, how long were you doing that?
We were in
Yeah.
Utah for about 7 years.
Wow.
So,
How did you transition here? What made you transition?
so my husband's family's from Bay City.
Okay.
So, not being Mormon, having a child, pushed us to come back to Michigan, where we have family. So that was the main push for us to
So
come
they
back.
could help out a little bit.
Correct. Being in grandma was sick, and just a lot of personal stuff. So we decided to come back and be with family and kind of more where our values are versus Utah. That was very Mormon, and I don't have an issue with it.
Yeah.
But again, it wasn't us.
Right.
And if you're in a Mormon state, everything's Mormon.
Everything's Mormon.
So and that's not what we wanted for our son.
So it was a great place to transition, but now you're where you want to be.
Correct.
And so how did you come in contact with the Meridian?
So we moved back into Bay City. So
When was this? Sorry to interrupt you.
That's 2017.
Okay.
I think so.
So you moved back?
17, something like that. 4 years ago.
Yeah, just recently.
So,
yeah.
yep. And so for 2 years, I did not do the event industry because we just moved back. My son was 3. And you all know how much hours you put into this industry.
You were being mama.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I just did miscellaneous stuff. And,
Right.
but then after 2 years, decided, I really missed the industry. I want to get back into it. But obviously, Bay City is not exactly a huge area as far as events are concerned. So I just started looking in Detroit, and it just kind of happened. There was a posting on Indeed, and called them up and or sent my information in, and came in, did my interview, and
Here we are.
it just kind of felt right and fell into place. So
Oh, cool. And so the challenging thing was that your first year, you got to do a few events, and like we mentioned earlier, Richard got to DJ the tasting, and then the pandemic happened, and then then all of us were,
right,
tightening the belt buckle and just trying to survive.
right.
But here we are again, and looks like the end of May is going to be,
Hopefully.
fingers crossed, knock on, whatever you want to knock on. It's gonna be good. We're gonna be
Right.
back to some semblance of normality.
Right.
So, man, how much do you miss doing a wedding?
Oh, I can't wait to get back into it. It's in my blood. I need to do more. So,
And we got Rocky or Richard. Rocky's been able to do quite a few, even though they're small. They still
We've been doing backyard micro weddings,
Yeah.
people, houses, small ceremonies. Ceremony only is just going to the church. We've been doing a lot of video streaming too, because guests can't be at the actual event, so we've been streaming to their home. So yeah, it's been very interesting, but I want to get back. I want to be inside venues like this. It's so beautiful. You can't beat that feeling of just being in the space.
Right.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, over the summer, did you guys do any like micro weddings, anything like that?
we totally shut down.
Totally down.
Once the order hit, we just decided that for us, it just made more sense to be done
Yep.
for the year.
Yeah.
So, hopefully, we'll open soon.
Oh, it's going to happen. It's going to happen.
Oh yeah, we're gonna be back at it in no time. And you got this is right now our viewers are getting to see a piece of your venue. What do you call this room?
So this is the lobby area, and most people use it for cocktail hour. But we've actually had ceremonies happen right there with that as the backdrop. So people love this room. It's just got a lot of atmosphere, and it's just fun.
It is. And so we also have the Belmont, the Carlson, and the Davison. So those are all their own individual spaces as well? Correct.
We only really use one half or the other. And you get 3 rooms whenever you book with us. So you always get this room. Then you get another room that will be cocktail hour or ceremony, depending on what you use this room for. And then you have a reception hall. So we have several rooms, but really you just get one half or the other half.
Okay.
And right now we don't do multiple events. So your event is the only event. And it is private. So
that's awesome.
People probably love that. Yeah.
Correct, they do.
What's the biggest guest count you can have here when things are back to?
It depends on how we do set up. Our biggest ballroom can hold, say, 450, 500 people by itself. But we can open the walls up, and we've done strolling events with 800 plus people. So, you know, we have the capability to seat 800 people if you were to use the whole facility.
The ceilings are so tall. I mean, if you stack people on top of each other, you could give you more.
Exactly.
These got to be 20-foot ceilings, right?
I think it's 15, I believe, is what they are.
They're pretty big.
Yeah, and that's nice. I'm personally just a glutton for tall ceilings. You just feel like you can breathe in a big room, you know.
Yep.
It's cool.
Absolutely.
Now looking around, I see a lot of. It's got kind of a modern architecture, but there's some classic, kind of a classic feel to it too. Did you, when the Meridian started, was this building already here? Or did you guys build it?
So the building was here, but it was office space.
Oh, okay.
So the owner went and met with a lot of different people, got architects involved and designers and everything else. And he had a vision of what he wanted, like the water wall we have over there. That's very much his, we have to have kind of a thing. So
fantastic.
Right.
Yeah.
So he just met with a lot of different people.
Now, were you part of that process too?
I was not. Okay. I got in towards the end of it.
You just got to enjoy it when it was all done.
Exactly. Exactly.
It was all shiny and new, you know.
But so he had a vision, and he got with the right people, and they made it happen.
Yeah, they sure did. And now couples across Southeast Michigan can enjoy it, but not just. You guys do a lot of weddings, but you also do other events, right?
Yep. Again, we haven't done much because of everything else, but we have done some bar and bat mitzvahs here, weddings. We've had a couple of tasting events. Really, we're open to anything. We've done some birthday parties, but our main focus definitely is more of the weddings. But you can do pretty much any type of event that you would like here.
And for people listening, we're in Farmington Hills, which I think is a great location for you guys because you're right off 696 here. You can come from the west. You can come from the east side, St. Clair. It's
275.
You can come from the south. I think it's a great location. So bride and grooms in the metro, keep that in mind. You know, for family coming in, staying at hotels, it's, photos. You got to think about convenience. Maybe they want to get to Detroit. We can get to Detroit in 15 minutes from here.
Easy.
I think that's really cool. It's a convenient factor,
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a good point. We actually, Richard and I, I don't know how many people know, obviously today we're around Michael's Entertainment together, but when we actually met when we were teenagers and we're best friends ever. Actually, when I met Richard, I said, one day you and me are going to become best friends.
And I was like, you're weird.
It weirded him out. Yeah, he was like, I remember looking, like as soon as I said it, he looked like really awkward, like this guy. Like, what is it? But I just somehow knew. I was like, this guy's cool.
You looked in his eyes and you just knew.
No. It was just like, I was like, we're going to become friends, and then lo and behold, it happened. And now we're doing a podcast,
We used to live around here, though.
That was my point.
Connection.
Thank you. Thank you for bringing us back.
Green Acres, what was it called? I forgot what it was.
That was like
no, Green Hill.
No, it was Polo Club first.
Polo Club first,
Polo Club.
Polo Club, which is just right over here, right on 9 and Halstead, and we lived there for a year and some change.
Yeah.
And then we lived in Green Hill, which is in Farmington Hills.
Yep.
Okay.
For So very familiar with the area. Shopping at that Myers on many a night. Need more beer.
Okay, back to weddings, guys. Back to
Okay,
weddings.
yeah.
But give us some insider intel on the process of booking here, right? Because I don't know much about that. So from a perspective of that and being a bride and groom potentially here, what's the process like? Do they reach out in the email? How, like if they want to check out the place, how does that work?
So either way works for us. Generally, most people reach out to email first. And a lot of times in that case, I will send you information and then we'll take it from there. But really the only way to get a feel for a place like this is to actually come and tour this place. You're not, I can't send you a picture or a video or anything. So generally what we do is we try to get people to come and look at the venue and meet with me. And, due to COVID, I'm not in the office every day, but I'll pretty much do meetings every day of the week and any time of day. So we try to be flexible on that. And then I always tell people, go to as many venues as you possibly can. Because when you make that decision, again, we have a beautiful venue. But I like people to go to as many venues as they can. So when they make that decision, it's because they know we are blown away by this venue.
Exactly. What's like the biggest compliment you've gotten so far with this venue when you've given tours and stuff like that?
So definitely this room, speaks for itself. Everybody's kind of blown away when they first walk in by this. But we get a lot of compliments on our service. Yes, it's a beautiful venue, but yes, there's other beautiful venues too. And we definitely go that extra step, trying to work with you where there's no cookie cutter event. Your event is special to us. Let's figure it out. Let's create a package that is going to work for you and your guests. So that's one of the things that we get a lot. And again, I have over 1,000 events that I've personally been involved with. So we come with the experience.
And that is invaluable.
So,
just because you've gone, there's such a myriad of different things that can happen at events, and you can't read a book to understand it. You really have to go through the hard knocks.
Right.
And you had that times 3 or 4, depending on how many wives the guy had. So,
Right. Well, we also had an outdoor venue, so we one time had to deal with raccoons eating a cupcake or the wedding cupcakes the morning of, and got those replaced. So I mean that's us. If something goes wrong, we'll fix it. You won't even know something is going wrong because we'll take care of it.
You handle it before it even becomes an
Correct.
issue, and the bride and groom can just continue to enjoy their day.
Correct. They should not be concerned about the little details on that day.
And you guys do all sorts of weddings, from like Indian weddings to Christians to Catholics,
Jewish.
So you've seen different traditions, different ceremonies, which means you've seen different problems that just happen because that's just what happens sometimes.
Right.
So that's an advantage for people wanting to book here.
Absolutely.
You've seen it on every avenue, right?
Absolutely. Yep.
That is awesome.
Very true.
Give us an example, maybe of something recent where, not a disaster, but something that went wrong. The bride and groom had no idea that it went wrong, and it could be something as simple as like glass breaking in the back, or give us an example of something like that.
Or maybe even something back in the old, like at any time in your experience.
So, I'll bring it back to this just because this is the venue I'm at right now. But right in the beginning, we opened and we had a big bar mitzvah, and the bathrooms overflowed in the main room.
Oh my.
And
just a freak accident.
Well, because we were brand new, there was stuff in the line that was left over from construction that, just didn't get taken care of. And so they were out here in this room with the ceremony, and me and the 2 boys that work for me ran to Home Depot and got those super absorbent tiles, and we had them in there because everybody kept on saying, "Oh, just put a sign up. They can use the other bathroom." I'm like, "No, that's not an option." And so we were in there cleaning it up and drying it up, and no one even knew.
Good for you.
So we pulled it off. I mean, I was stressed, but we pulled it off, and they did not even know. So
that's a great example, because that is something that could actually ruin the entire event. Can you imagine water coming in here? So wow.
Right.
Wow, that's
kudos to
dedication.
You.
Right.
We do what we have to do.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Because maybe it's arguable that maybe a lot of people can handle it when everything's perfect, but knowing that when you're working with Lisa and when you're working with the Meridian, that even when it hits the fan, you got a team that's got your back.
Right. And that I think ties in too with having great vendors overall, not just with us, but we trust certain vendors, and there's a reason why. because you know you can trust that person to go, hey, we have an issue, and everybody pulls together and we fix it.
Absolutely.
And that is just overall weddings. Trust your venue, trust the vendors you have when they tell you about other vendors, because they know they've worked with these people.
Yeah, for
It's
sure.
awesome. It's great stuff.
Well, this has been a lot of fun hanging out and talking, and I appreciate you once again for bringing us together to do this on short notice as well.
Oh, absolutely.
But I guess
Give us your website, phone number. Like, what's the best avenue to get in touch with you guys to come check out the place and book?
So easiest way right now is definitely website, and there is a form you can fill out. And our website is www.themeridianevents.com. My cell number is 989-909-0809.
She's giving out her cell number. That's wow.
dedication.
Whoa.
That's somebody that doesn't sleep.
For me in this industry, text makes it so much easier sometimes to just
That's
quickly
true.
respond to. If you're busy, if you're in a meeting, so
For sure.
I give my cell number because people can quickly text me, and I can generally respond really fast. Where in email there might be a delay.
And it shows you care. It shows you care.
Correct.
Dedication, for sure.
I love what I do. I love this place. I love what I do, and I love my brides. And other people too, but mainly brides.
It's actually a great question for me, actually. I guess, because I know my favorite part about weddings. I'm sure you know your favorite part. We've expressed it before. What's your favorite part about weddings?
So I love the all. I love how it pulls together. But what gets me every single wedding, and again, I've done 1,000 of them, is the vows. Every single time I hear the vows, that's when I get emotional, and it kind of just brings that, your own vows and everything else back. That is by far, it just hits me every time. It hits me differently every time.
Yeah.
But by far, that is just something that I can't explain to people, but I never miss the vows. That is just my special thing.
That's so cool.
Especially when they're written by the couple themselves.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. We've heard some unique ones and some really
I love when bride and grooms write their own vows.
Yeah.
I think it's so beautiful. It adds a lot to their wedding film. So something to think about if you're listening,
Sure.
and if you're on the fence, hey, should I do my own vows? Yes, do your own vows, please.
even if it's really simple,
Right.
people get a lot out of it.
They do. Yeah.
When it's just a rote thing, you got it done. You're still married,
Right.
But if you write it yourself, people in the audience are hearing and they're going, "Oh yeah, I remember that." Or especially when they bring in little anecdotes from their
Right.
getting to know each
And
other.
it makes you feel connected to the couple a tiny bit, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
Because
Oh, absolutely.
when I hear vows, I'm like, wow, you guys just told basically your story of how you got to where you are today on a really, really deep personal level. And we were all part of that.
Yeah.
We got to experience it. And
Right.
Also, I know there's a lot of shy people out there too. So don't be afraid to do private vows. I've seen that many times. And that's another cool thing with the power of video is you film those private vows with just you and your videographer in a private room at your mom or dad's house, wherever you're getting ready before the wedding. And then you just have your normal quote unquote vows on your ceremony time. So that's a good way to separate it if you want to keep it private. But again, I always encourage you to do it public, because just like what Richard said, I mean, when you're in the moment, we're hired work and we get emotional. We're
Right.
like, whoa, this is insane.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
That says something because but the rote vows don't get me very much.
What
but
are you going to do, Seth?
yeah, you're engaged here, buddy. What are you gonna do?
that's a lot of pressure. It's like
Casey's listening and watching right now, and she's like, "Don't say anything stupid."
I'm gonna have to. That's a really good question. I think I'm just gonna sit
it to
down.
Casey.
No, I think we're probably gonna write our own vows. And I'll probably just sit down one day in a nice sunny afternoon, and when the breeze is blowing and I'm feeling the feels, I'll take a little pen and paper, and I'll just start, thinking about thoughts and writing them down, and
Really putting you on the spot.
Oh, yeah.
You clearly haven't thought about this.
that's just what I would probably do. I would do that.
gotcha.
I got time.
Plenty of time.
We got engaged back in December. So,
Okay, so you've got time.
Yeah, and we're gonna
Listen to the experts.
yeah, we're gonna have to get someone on the podcast who's like a professional vow consultant.
I'm sure that's out there.
No, it should come from the heart, though.
Yeah,
That's
it
what
does
it's
come
all
from the
about, coming
Yep.
from heart.
Yeah, even if there's no grammar correctness at all, it's just then she'll know it's real.
Right.
It's not getting graded.
Right. Well, but Rocky, why don't you let everybody know how they can reach out to you?
Yeah.
For
So
wedding videography.
Yeah, for people listening, my name's Rocky Shattuck. I'm with RDS Films. My website is rdsfilms.com. RDS_films on Instagram. Really not on Twitter. So you find me on Instagram. You find me on Facebook with RDS Films as well. And check me out there. Send me an email and be in touch and say hi to me in the comment section here on YouTube. We respond to everybody, and we appreciate you having me on, and excited for the next one, guys.
Yeah. Well, thanks for producing such a sweet, fun podcast to be a part of, man.
Yeah, man. What about you? Where can we get a hold of Michael's Entertainment?
Thanks for asking. Yeah, Michael's Entertainment, www.michaelsentertainment.com. There's a form at the bottom where you can just actually pick a time in our schedule for us to call you. So we publicize our phone schedule, so you can pick a little 30-minute consultation time, and we'll.
What about Richard? What if we wanted to hit him on the Instagram or something? What's your Instagram, Richard?
Richard Somerset. Pretty simple.
Perfect.
Summer like the season, set with 2 T's.
And then at Michael's Entertainment for the Instagram. Yep. But it's been awesome, guys. Thank you again. And thanks to you guys, everybody, for tuning in to the Michigan Wedding Podcast. It's been a terrific time. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed it. And we'll see you guys next time. Take care.
Bye, guys.
Bye.